Hello, this is Lake Victoria Permaculture last day. This is James, our soil scientist, all the way from Nandi, and he's with iCal Soil Academy. It's an academy, right?
Yeah, it's online.
It's an online soil school, right? Program. So let's welcome James.
Thank you so much, Steve. I want to take this opportunity to greet you all. Good morning or it's afternoon. It's still morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here today with you. And whatever has been happening since the beginning of uh, the convergence, it has been talking so much about soil, which is very important and is the key uh, issue that is affecting most of the most of the growth of our plants. And I'm very happy that for the first time, uh, I've heard people talking about soil, even in the climate change summits and conferences, and also seminars that maybe I've been attending. Soil used to be the last, and sometimes it misses even to be mentioned in, in those events. But for this one, I've been very, very happy. Everybody is talking about soil. Starting yesterday, had our presenter that was Ruth talking about soil, talking about the stages of growth and or the
Syntropic.
the syntropics. I was very impressed that even in my everything that is in my presentation were in those talks that you had. And I want to introduce myself as a soil advocate. I advocate for soil. Let us take care of our soil. That is the first thing I always tell people when we meet. How do we take care of the soil? Uh, Soil is the first or the basis of our life, and everything evolves from soil. Even when we die, we go back to the soil. So let's take care of where we came from and where we go back to. Um, the health of our ecosystem depends on our activities. There is life down here, irrespective of whatever activity happening there. If you are doing maybe a destructive or an industrial activity that may be affecting um, the environment, what is above the ground. You're also affecting what is beneath the ground, but still there's something living inside there with uh, or with a struggle, that is, even if it is meant to live in that environment, it will be struggling because they are they also need a space to survive that is conducive for them. I'll be talking about the key microbes that we need to have in our soil. We've heard that we use manure, we use uh, the
Bones.
the bones,
Charcoal.
yeah. Why are we doing that? Because we want to grow, uh, to have a fertile land.
Increase the microbiology.
So for us, I will bring about the subject of compost. Composting is a way of multiplying the microbes within a very short time. we use both the green materials, the dry or the brown materials, as well as manure in composting. This will help us uh, multiply the microbes very, very fast. The reason we are using manure is because we want to provide food. We call manure the party food. And we need to have the ratios. We have the need to, because we cannot be using a lot of it uh, to multiply or to grow the microbes. We can use a little and still be able to multiply the microbes. So in our case, I'll be brief. I'll want to say that we use service compost. We don't do the pits. We do compost heaps. The reason why we are doing compost heaps is because of the management. It's very easy. We need to turn that compost and we need to make it moist while it's cooking. The processes of making a compost are these. We have the percentages. We use the buckets, like Barbara told us that she uses 1 bucket of manure, putting that 1 hole. For us, 1 bucket, you can say it is a 10%. We use that one. We take 10% of that. We use that bucket as a 10%, so that we can now use that one for ratios of the green and the browns. So we need to have a lot of browns so that we have a lot of carbon. And then we need to have 1 bucket of manure will go to 3 parts of the green materials and then 6 parts of the browns. That makes 100%. Then you can mix them together, but first of all, you need to soak the browns. You need to soak the browns so that you have them having that water moisture, and then you mix them together. So I'm just using the reference of 1 bucket, but still you can have more buckets. When you have more manure or the party food, you have more greens and the greens and the browns. You need to have a relatively high heap. That is, if at all you are using a compost heap for 2 meters low, 1 meter wide, and 2 meters high. That is high enough. 2 meters is high enough for you to achieve optimum temperature that can help kill pathogens, seeds of weeds, and
What's the temperature?
yeah, we need to have a temperature above 55 degrees. And
Celsius?
yeah, 55 degrees Celsius.
In Fahrenheit, it's 165.
Yeah, 165. So when you have that kind of a temperature, you'll be sure that you're killing the pathogens and you're also killing the weeds. If at all you have our compost thermometer, we have a compost thermometer of 50 millimeter or 50 centimeter. 500 millimeter, that is 50 centimeter. It gets into the center of the compost. Yeah. So when you have your thermometer inside the compost and it has reached 55 degrees Celsius, then you count 3 days from that day. Then you turn your compost. You make the center to go to the bottom, the outside to go to the center, and then the bottom side will come to the top, so that every part of your compost will cook very well. I'm answering the questions of, I know people might have been, we went there and also we heard from Barbara that they are planting the bits, the outside the, the pit. As I was thinking critically, I found that the person who thought of that was also looking into the heat phenomenon. When the decomposition is taking place, the heat is being produced. And when you plant anything on top of heating, even on top of your kitchen, it will not grow because of that heat. So this person was also taking care of these the roots not to be burned. So roots will take time to get into that part where there is a lot of heat. Although they'll be feeling that they have microbes there because there will be communication, the growth of fungi and and bacteria will be there. They'll be growing until that time when it is cool enough to penetrate. And it's a good idea that that person thought of, how will I do so that I can utilize these pits early enough? For us, we take from 3 months to have your compost be ready. But in everything that you do, you need to prepare early. Even if you are, when you want to plant maize, for example, you'll not wake up today in the morning and say, I want to plant maize. No, you need to have a plan. You need to dig your farm. If you are told you are digging, you need to get ready to have your compost on time. You go for your seed on time, so that when it is planting season, you have everything in place. So make your compost early enough. So after 3 days, having achieved that 55 degrees, you turn your compost. And then you heat it again. And you start measuring the temperature from that day. Because definitely after turning, the temperature will go down. And you must achieve 55 degrees Celsius within 24 hours. After turning, you can measure degrees. Your temperature, you find it is up somewhere between 29, 30, 31, 32 to 33, or higher, depending on the ambient temperature or the environmental temperature at that point. So your temperature will raise, and when it gets to 55 degrees, you can turn your compost again. You need to have 3 thermophilic temperature. So thermophilic temperature here starts from 50, 55. You get that? Thermophilic temperature starts from 50. So when you are at 55, when you are at 55, you are sure that the pathogens, the weeds, and any other harmful organism will be dead by then. You need to aerate your compost. So the turning provide that environment, the aeration environment. We need oxygen. So aerobic conditions make our okay. So yes, please.
My question is, what if you don't have a thermometer? Is there a way to
Yes,
tell?
yes, I was going to.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a way you test if your compost is hot enough. 50 degrees, 55 degrees Celsius is relatively hot. Although it will not burn your hand, but at least you can feel it is hot enough. So we use a thermostick. We use a stick to put into the center of, you drive it into the center of the heap or that pile. Because any compost that is not cooking will not heat up. It will not heat up. And if it starts heating, definitely it will raise. And if at all you are putting all the measures right, that is having a 10% fatty food, 30% greens, and 60% browse, definitely your compost will cook, will heat, provided that it is moist. You've moistened the dry materials or the browse. It will definitely cook. So you need to have a stick. If you are if at all you are using, it's a 2 meter high compost heap or pile. Use also let's have a 3 meter long stick. Then you drive into the center of that heap. Drive it even to the bottom side. Because when you remove that stick and you start feeling, you'll notice the difference. The temperature the highest will be at the center. When you hold it this way, you will find it hot. And of course, you will know any temperature above your body temperature should be warm. Anything below you that you will not feel it because the temperature will not be equivalent to the temperature of your hand. So if it is hot enough, when you feel, then you are sure that your compost is heating. And you'll know that it is at least relatively higher than your body temperature. But I'm very sure if you are following the ratios that I'm talking about, the 10, 30, and 60 degrees, this percent, your compost will definitely cook or it will heat. Thank you. I hope I answered your question. Yeah. Moving forward, I said you need to have the 3 thermophilic temperatures. Sometimes the compost can raise up to 72 degrees Celsius. That is good. You can use that. You can turn your compost in 24 hours. You need to count 24 hours before turning that compost, provided that the temperature is raising. You can raise to 55 degrees. After recording that, you come back again and you realize that your temperature has gone high. So 60 degrees to 70 degrees, you can turn that in 24 hours. You count 24 hours from the day you record after recording the highest temperature of 70 degrees, because that is the height can go or beyond. So in 24 hours, you can turn and still be able to have a good compost in the end. You turn having the bottom, the center part going to the bottom, the top part going to the center, and the bottom side coming to the top. And when you follow that, you have the bottom the bottom side now that was in the center coming up, the top part going to the center, and the center going to the bottom. And you'll have all the compost parts getting the thermophilic temperature of above 55 degrees Celsius. Yeah. I had started talking about the key microbes in the soil. We need bacteria and fungi. Why do we need bacteria? Bacteria are the composers. They assist in the process of recycling the nutrients in the soil. So because these bacteria reproduce every 20 minutes, like someone said. It reproduces 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes you have bacteria. And bacteria also acts as food for other microbes. That is why they will not grow, or they will never be enough or more that can affect our crops when we have complete soil food web, because we have protozoa, we have nematodes that feed on the bacteria, and we need them. So bacteria are the primary decomposers in the soil. They are breaking down the organic matter, converting it into nutrients. We have nutrients in the soil. They are already there, but they are not in plant available forms. That's why we need decomposers to bring these into plant available forms. We also have fungi, especially the mycorrhizal fungi. We have what we call mycorrhizal fungi. They are very, they provide, yesterday we were talking about communication in the soil. And the fungal hyphae provided that network for sending out information, the soil, and also bringing the water. I answered that. I don't know who asked that, but they form a network that extend beyond the root zone. They go deep, very deep. Even roots go deeper. Like after I joined the soil advocacy course, I was curious. We were digging the what do we call this? It was not a pit latrine, but it was, in fact, the pit latrine. I remember one day when we were digging pit latrine, and it was where the trees were. I was so curious to know how far roots go. They grew even up to 30 feet deep down the ground. And that is also where the fungal hyphae can grow into. It goes beyond the roots that we see here. So grasses here are using the fungal hyphae network to bring up the water. But when we dig every now and then, digging beyond